Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another match reaction. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 2, opening day of our Premier League season away at Stamford Bridge, and it is a fairly comfortable 2-0 victory, fairly standard. Few talking points, of course. Team was very, very senior. Some players made their first appearance. Some players made their first real minutes of the season, and there were obviously a few different talking points from a few different players, which I will get into. But if you will first do me a favour, and please leave a like on this video, it'd be massively appreciated, and subscribe if you are new. We're so close to 10k. That is our next goal, and look, man, let's get into it. There's no late night chat tonight, so this is your match review. This is your condensed thoughts. Try and keep it around 8 to 10 minutes, that sort of thing. So let's just talk about the game. Let's talk about the first half, and we'll talk about how the game started first. I think we'll start there with the wingers. We had Doku on the right and Savio on the left, which is something that I spoke about on the preview show last night. In being, I put them both to start, but I had them the other way around. I had Savio on the right and Doku on the left, and we started with, proper wingers. It was very much sort of 17-18, 18-19 sort of old school, Centurions City, where it was, Sane, Sterling, Savio Doku. It was that sort of thing of wingers on their natural side, and it was interesting. It was interesting. We had about 20 minutes of that in the first half, and Savio looked okay. Doku not so much. I thought he really struggled to get the better of Cucurella. I will say that. His final ball today, Doku, it was terrible. If I'm going to be honest, I'm going to touch on him a little bit later because he's one of the players that I do want to talk about. But then, after sort of 20 minutes, you get the switch, and I think Doku had much better of a time playing off the left. Against Gusto. I was, nothing against Gusto. I don't think he's a bad player. I just think Doku, we saw last season, played better off the left. So he looked a bit more comfortable, and Savio absolutely tore Cucurella apart. It's a shame he had to come off after 45 minutes. That's kind of where I want to start with the two wingers. I'll talk about Savio first, because he only did 45. Unreal, number 26. It's like Mahrez never left. He's unreal. He's fast. He's technically good. He can beat his man. He can put a cross in. He can make things happen. He seems to kind of, have a decent understanding already of the way that we play, given, he was at Girona and they play an attacking style of football. So it's not, the biggest of changes. But he understands it and he fits really, really well. And I hope to God that his injury is not serious. I mean, at the time of recording, the game has literally just ended. I don't actually, there's no press conference quotes, there's no nothing, so I don't actually know the extent of the injury or what happened. All I saw is that he went down towards the end of the first half, holding his knee just away from the ball, and he tried to carry on and was taken off at half time. So who knows how bad that injury is. Again, I hope it's not serious because he looked really, really good. But, I mean, switching to the other wing and going to Doku, it's the same case with Doku as it was last season, of where his final ball, his final product, his decision making is just poor. It's just really, really poor. I mean, apart from the first goal that he played a massive part in, I think Bernardo Silva actually got the assist on that because he got the tiniest of touches, but it was really all Jeremy Doku, that one with the pass. But apart from that, his final ball, it was underhit, overhit, off target, wild, just looked like there was no control about it. There was that one in the first half where we broke and he was on the right, and Haaland was running through and he didn't get the ball past the man right in front of him. Haaland's 1-on-1 at that point, and he just misses the pass. So his final ball is the one really key thing that he needs to work on here, because apart from that, he done most things right. He was picking up dangerous positions. He was being double teamed at times. He was making some decent reads in terms of, when to go back and just keep the ball instead of, you just go for it and try and get past your man again. At the end of the game, right at the end of the second half, I think he danced through about 3 people. I couldn't pick anyone out, but again, he's doing a lot of things right up until the final ball, which is the problem that we had last season. So if he figures that out, which again, he's young, this is his second season. He's 21, 22, something like that. I don't even know. I know he's very, very young. So he will, of course, develop and figure that out. But it's something that he needs to get quick, because he won't keep his place for long if he keeps having, end product like that, because you've got players like Grealish. I think if Grealish is in the position that Doku is in to play Haaland in one-on-one, he plays it. If that's De Bruyne, he plays it. If that's Foden, he plays it. I think even if that's Savio, he probably plays it. So, yeah, there's a little bit of something to work on there for Doku, but that was kind of the first half. Good finish from Haaland. He almost cocked it up. A few too many touches, but, lovely finish in the end. Nice, calm, composed. Not affected by the defender behind him. So we take a 1-0 lead going into half time, and then the second half. Again, I thought we improved as the game went on. Defensively, I won't single out any players. I just think as an entire unit, from Kovic and the back four's perspective, unreal. I was kind of wishing, counting my lucky stars, trying to get a clean sheet, trying to manifest a clean sheet, and we got a clean sheet because the defense defended unbelievable. To a man, everybody. Rico Lewis is reading the game. He's unbelievable. It's exceptional. His timing of tackles is something that is just, you can't teach stuff like that. Ruben Diaz and Vardio, they put their body on the line. They'll throw anything in front of the ball to try and, block it. Akanji as well, getting involved. So look, everyone from a man down, and Kovacic as well, by the way. I'll dog on him, his goal in a bit. But in terms of, his defensive work, his tackling, just again, under the radar. I mean, does this potentially change your mind about a midfielder? For me, it doesn't. I still think we need one. Now with Savio potentially being out, we need probably an attacking player. But I still think a midfielder is something that I would 100% look at. But Kovacic today has proved that he can hold his own, which I guess we kind of knew he could hold his own. It just wasn't the best option. But I mean, that was a really, really good performance. You're probably my man of the match. Bernardo Silva got the Sky man of the match. But I think my personal man of the match is probably Kovacic. He was unreal. And the finish for the goal, he picks up the ball, runs, 10, 20 yards. And, Sanchez even gets a hand on it and it still goes in. And that's an unreal finish from Kovacic. And it's something that we've seen Rodri do in terms of, score from range. It's something that, there have been games of previous seasons where we've been crying out for someone to just start taking long shots, start trying to test the goalkeeper. And I mean, credit to Kovacic. He had a couple of shots. And that was the pick of the bunch, really. That kind of sealed the game. And just to speak on it from a Chelsea perspective, I said this immediately when I watched it. He went past both Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, neither of which I think were on a booking at the time. And I think this is the problem that Chelsea have, just to touch on Chelsea briefly, is there's no cohesion, there's no teamwork, because they're constantly signing new players, trying new systems, new managers, new this, new that, players injured, players returning. Reece James is always injured. Nkunku basically didn't play last season. New manager, all of this. So that's why it's not clicking. But I do think there's also a mentality thing there as well, because I said this to my dad when they shot the replay of that Kovacic goal. He went past both Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, neither of which, again, like I said, I don't think either of them were on a booking. I could be wrong. I know Caicedo wasn't, because he got booked about 2 minutes later. But, my point basically being that if you were to switch the roles and, 85 minutes played, or 84, 85 minutes played, you have a guy on the other team running through the middle of the pitch, gearing up to pop a shot from range. That's Rodri, that's Kovacic, that's any one of our players. And they're not on a yellow card, they're taking them down. They're taking them down and getting the free kick. Just giving the free kick, taking the yellow, they're not letting him get a shot off. The fact that Kovacic has been able to just breeze past a couple of players and get a shot off, when Chelsea, especially when Chelsea are chasing the game, mentality, you can't really teach that in a player. That's just instinct. That's something that we've come accustomed to with players like Rodri, Fernandinho. If a player is running through and you've got past you and you're not on a yellow, especially if it's late in the game, you take them down, take the yellow, and you stop the attack there and then. And that's something that, again, Chelsea's problems can be summed up with there's just too many new players and the mentality is just totally wrong, and it's going to take a while for a manager to sort that out. So that's my little 2 pence on Chelsea, because I don't think some of the build-up was actually too bad. Some dangerous positions. It's just not clicking because there's just so many factors going into that Chelsea team. It's a mess. And it's going to take them a while to get out of it. But in terms of a City perspective, I still think it's pretty raw. I don't think it's anywhere near the final product. I think there's still a few gears to go up. But, we take it 3 points, 2-0, clean sheet. Haaland got a goal. Defensively, we look really, really solid. And, we go from there. We got Ipswich next, I believe, which, I'm looking for maybe a bit more excitement, a little bit of up the gears throughout the season. As we progressed, this was a lot of players' first minutes of the season, so. All around, it was a good game. We take that 3-0. We didn't beat Chelsea last season. We've beaten them now. So, again, good result. So, that's all I've got to say on this game, my condensed thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the game. Maybe your man of the match, any standout players that I didn't talk about. I can have a discussion in the comments with you. You do me a massive favour on the way out of this video, and please leave a like, it's massively appreciated, and subscribe if you're new. Like I said at the start, we're so close to 10k, that is our next goal. And I'll see you hopefully on Monday with some sort of stream, maybe a recap of the weekend.